fourth installment of the Tamiya 1/48 scale Phantom F4-B build. Hello, this is BJ from Hearns Hobbies and welcome to part 4 of the Tamiya 1/48 scale Phantom F4-B build. Okay, so where are we up to? So from the overhead camera, you see I've got our makeshift instructions because this was the sample sent by Tamiya. So I'm up to step 21. I've already cut out quite a few parts. These are from steps 21 and 22. These are parts of the air intakes. So at the moment, they've still got a few dags on them, which I'm going to clean up, and then we'll start assembly there. So I've got parts of the fuselage all in their sub-assemblies. This is the fuselage which I've tacked earlier. This is the wing sections which I've tacked. I'll have those fully glued together once I have them all the parts combined, so that there's a perfect control on the fit. And there's the little backbone there, which I'll put on at the very last moment as well. So, okay, let's put on my mag visor. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm just going to be cleaning up some of these parts. Okay.
Put them up behind the deck paper in the jump shop.
Okay, so we've got one side done, we'll just do the other side. Alright, so getting close. We've just got a few more intake parts to do, and then we'll start assembly. Okay, it's the last part here. Okay. So cleaning up does take a little bit of time and effort, but once you've done it, the assembly will be fairly quick from here. So what do we have? Let's go with this part here. Quite a nice flush fit. Okay, so that's tacked in place. Let's C2. C5. Okay. 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 Looks like I've missed a nub right here, which we'll just quickly trim off. Hoping that's a nub. Yep. Okay, so there's one part of the intake done. So now we're going to do the duct. So B10 and B8. So we know that because we already pre-cut those and it's marked in those. You'll probably be able to see that up there, which makes it much easier to recognize, because when you're cutting all these bits out, it is quite easy to get them all confused. Right, so I've got a nub right here. Okay. Still a little bit of a nub over here, but it probably doesn't matter. Let's glue this all together first and we'll test fit it. If it doesn't get in the way, we'll just leave it there. Okay, so from there, I just need the intake for the engine. So then we're going to be on these trees here. So we've got there D5 and D22. D22. All right, might as well cut out the other one as well. Just a bit of cleanup on these pointy nose parts of the engine, the turbines. And just a quick cleanup here. This won't be so important because these are going to be hidden, but even so, it's nice just to be clean. Okay, so might as well glue these in. Okay, so there's one. Okay, there's the second one. All right, so we'll keep this one on that side. Do a quick test fit. Looks like it's a really good fit. And then that's going to go into here. Okay, so there you go. So that's the sub-assembly already done. So if you look very carefully down here, you will be able to see the turbine intake. So what I'm going to do at this stage, because it's very deep, I'm going to do the wash on this so you can hopefully see some detail before we glue that all together. Right, so do some washing in a minute. We'll just have this one all together first. So let's move on to step 22. Okay, so this is basically doing the same thing as we just did before. Okay. Oh, did I miss something here? D29. What's D29? Oh, I did miss something. Okay, so it's easy enough to fix. D29. Okay. Also some little sensors which are inside the intakes, which I've missed. So it's always good to look at the instructions thoroughly after you're doing something, because it is quite easy to miss some of these steps. Might be a little bit tricky to get to because I already sealed that all up, but we've got some tweezers here and we should be all right. Okay. Okay, that was easy enough to do. So just make sure they're sort of straight. Okay, looks all right. All right, so let's not forget it this time. Just loops right here. So I'll apply the glue first. Gets it to tack up. Drop this in. Yep. Okay. Okay, looks all right. Okay, glad I caught that because otherwise it would have been quite difficult to complete. All right, let's continue on with the build on this. All right, so I've got that. Okay. Okay, that's nice. Let's get this together. Okay. Okay, test fit. It's nice. And then here as well. Okay, very nice. All right, so we have our assemblies here. Just going to quickly do the black wash on here. Just want to just try and see, or bring out the details, I guess, because we're not going to be painting it. Oops, I've overdone it a bit there. Right, I'll see if I can transfer some of this onto this one.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. Just take the GC down and just enter it and make it faster. Yep. Jack up the volume a little bit. One ACL rally class would be so much fun. I honestly think though, you really need to make sure, especially now, the car sensation in Melbourne can be that's just Melbourne.
Okay, so they're being washed. Let's see, is it worth doing a wash down here? I don't know, let's have a look. I see the detail there, but probably not worth doing a wash along the inside there. So we'll just leave that. That'll do for there. Now let's just glue these sections in. Oh, have I confused these? This one goes in. That's it. Actually, I won't glue these as yet because we'll leave them separate because they're going to fit into here. We'll do a quick dry fit and see what it looks like. That's what it's going to be like. You can already see the panel fit is pretty good. That all looks pretty good. Okay, fairly happy with that. All right, so we've got our sub-assemblies. We've got our washed engines just drying up there. Okay, so that's step 23 is where the intakes are actually glued in place, but I'm going to leave them out for the moment, just as sub-assemblies. And from there, we're going to move on to step 24, which is the horizontal stabilizer. Okay, so B25. B25. That's M. Okay, so here we go, B25. Okay, so you just got to be careful. This particular item is in one piece because it's hinged, so I don't think that these are sprue parts in the center. Just take some care when we cut that out.
What was this about email?
Okay, like so. So we're going to take a bit of time just to sand these off. There are some of these inner plates here, so I'll get these inner plates first. So B21, B22, that's these ones here. Give this a bit of a trim. And then a bit of a sand, make them flat. Now, because these parts are going to be fitting inside a tight panel, it's better to use something flat just to make sure it's perfect. And you don't get any gouge marks from your knife. Okay, and then we do a quick test fit. And looks perfect. Okay, so that one's done. Okay, another test fit. The opposite side. That looks good. And then we just clean off these nubs that are wrong here. Just give it a quick cleaning over with a sanding here. Okay, that's all right. All right, that's nice and clean. All right, let's glue these bits in. Okay, now we do this bit. And sometimes with parts like this, there can be a little bit of float where the part can move around. We just want to make sure we align it so that the panel line looks even all the way around, because otherwise some parts could look a bit fatter than others. So that's why I always tack one section and then you can adjust it. And then apply more glue to fix it. Okay, so there's those two panels on, and then it's still got a couple of little bits. So B23 and B24. B23 and B24. B23. B24. So give that a quick trim. Okay. All right, so these little things just fit within this hinge part of the horizontal stabilizer. Just make sure they're located correctly. Okay, so there's one. And the other. Okay, so they're in the right spots. Let's just glue them in. Okay, so that is step 24 finished. All right, so let's move on to the next section here. Okay, so this is continuing on with the rear horizontal stabilizer. So 25, stabilizer mounting. So we've got basically the tail section here with the poly caps. Let's just find those. B30. It's got B30 here. Oop. This happened before. Luckily we don't have carpet here, well, otherwise the carpet monster's got it. Right, so I've got one section there. One section here. I'll just move this out of the way. And then there's a B28. Okay, and then there's an odd one, a Q8. So let's see where Q. I'll pick this up first. Okay, so Q.
Yeah, that's not where I'm don't get
Q8. Okay, so I've got all my components there. For the tail end, we'll just do the quick cleanup again. Okay. All right, so let's get this glued into here. Okay, now the poly caps, which I've hidden down here. So, there are two little poly caps, part of the hinging system. So be careful with these because they're easy to lose. Being black doesn't really help either, but. Alright, so I have those. So poly caps just fit into each side of the tail. It's just press fit. That again. So they just press fit, they're not going to come out now. And then we'll start putting these together with this in center there. So, let's see. This locates onto here. Oops. Okay, so there's a cap which is going to hold poly caps in place. And also offer strength for this center component.
I know what you mean.
Okay, so with the other half going on now.
You know where he's going. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so basically I want to make sure this fits in place, so we'll test fit it. So this is going to fit into this particular gap. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so again, I've got this tacked together already, so I'll leave it as is and I'll do the final gluing along this joint as we put the whole lot together. So there's another sub-assembly ready. Actually, I don't know if I can because this needs to go in there. All right, so how about leave this in there while we glue it so it aligns it. Okay, let's glue that in place. Okay, I think that's aligned pretty well. We've got that center section in there now. So I've glued that in because basically we didn't have a lot of choice. But the rest of it I'll fully glue, so there's still a bit of movement there. That allows me to align it if it's slightly out, but we've still got this sub-assembly like that. Okay, still got those done. Let's see, what are we up to here? Okay, so here it's going to want us to start assembling all these tail components. So that's 26. Now, what I'd like to do is leave these until later. So let's see if we're actually at a point where I can glue most of this together. Because all this sort of stuff that follows is all basic external details. And just hooking onto the main aircraft. So it may be time to actually bolt the thing together. Yeah, we're getting close. Okay. All right, so what I'll do, I think we'll leave those as sub-assemblies. And we'll continue on with the next installment where it's basically going to be zipping together most of this together. Okay, so we've got number 26, which is attaching the horizontal stabilizer. We've got all our sub-assemblies here. And then 27 is making the nozzles. That's a sub-assembly in itself, so we'll leave that till a bit later. And then we'll get all these components here and have them all together during the next one. So thank you for tuning in to watch the fourth installment of the build of the Tamiya 1/48 scale F4-B Phantom. And please pop back for part 5. Thank you.